Hello, you Wookiees. How's it going? So I'm going to try to make this a quick video, but no promises. So, as I told you guys before, I was thinking about making a video talking about Persona 5. Sorry I didn't get to do it at work. I didn't really have a lot of chance to. But it's very addicting. I'm on my second playthrough now. Which is odd because, you know, Neo 3 just came out and I'm like, I kind of want to keep on playing. Get all the Personas. I actually got like almost all of them anyway. It's just most of them are all locked behind character progression. I enjoyed the story. It kind of reminded me, if you guys are familiar with some of the animes I might mention, it's kind of like Yu Hakusho meets Bleach, if that makes any sense. Well, I just kind of started eating. I'm sorry, guys. So you might see a little bit of my dinner. Because of the story, I think that's probably what captured me. Is it's kind of familiar with some of the animes I grew up watching, and it's really fun. I'm not a big fan of turn-based. You might see a little bit of my finger right here, guys. And I just spilled my nose. And I think some of it just flew over to me. I'll pick it up in a minute. Okay, this is... Alright, I'm gonna do this. Alright, this is better. Alright, and let me try to find a good angle here. Use my switch case here. That'll work. Let me clean up my dinner. Most of it. Alright. Get my chair up a little bit here. Alright. So, as I was saying, it's kind of it's very similar to some of the animes I love watching, like Bleach, Yu Hakusho, and a lot of what it deals with, like the story is very similar to like I'll keep on drawing some stuff from other genres. If you guys are familiar with an anime called Death Note, it's very similar in terms of philosophy there. Although a little bit of a better, standpoint there. Whereas, like in Death Note, he feels like he can solve the world's problems by killing the bad person, only to find out that he's become just as bad. In this one, you have some bad people, but I'm not saying these guys are out there bad, like a lot of these characters, these villains, you really want to just like, which is probably what it's supposed to trigger. And they believe, like, none of these characters ever set out to do this. Like, not even the main character, he never set out to actually do this. He kind of was thrown into it. And and they all kind of start coming in, you know, gradually. Whereas in that one, you know, the guy has one goal, but he didn't exactly meet that goal because he got lost in his path. He started seeing himself in Death Note, mind you. He started seeing himself as a god. These characters don't see that. They just generally want to help. You know, they call it the society reform. And so how they issue doing this is they change the person's heart. They steal their treasure, which in turn changes their heart. And I like this idea because, you know, there's a conversation in the game where, you know, they've never done this before, and they're kind of torn. Like, should we really be doing this? Are we any better? And it really draws the lines as you go through the game. And another thing I really enjoyed in the game, other than the combat system, was the creativity when it comes to the personas. And I will be making another video shortly on tips and tricks, especially for me. I actually do want to do before I do the video. I want to see if I can do it in my current run, because I waited until like almost half game to max out. I want to see if I can do it. I can give you guys a much better idea. On how to achieve this, because when you go to New Game Plus, everything resets except for a handful of things. Like, you get all your gear, all your personas once you get unlocked. Your, I want to say it's like your catalog or your something like that, where you can buy or summon all the ones you've unlocked in your previous game, but you don't start with those. Your level starts over, but you also keep your social skills. That's another thing. It really irritated me because I spent probably a good portion of my day trying to level up my character's skill. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before on another video, probably my first work vlog, where I wish they would put a number next to the star, the point where you, like, say proficiency, which you get for there's various ways of getting it, but the most efficient way is just making tools like lockpicks. Yes, there is lockpick in the game, although it's kind of automatic. And you also can make stealth tools that put you back to 0 notoriety. It feels like it's like sometimes it's like, but once you get higher up, it's a really slow go. And the only thing I can figure is that there's a little number that's hidden that tells you, it's like, oh, let's say for instance, to get to level 4 you need 45. Okay, you got 5. Okay, you got 10 now. You know, it progresses, but I wish they would have that little number on the side of the stat you're trying to increase. That way you know there's a general progression, because when you look at it in the animation, it just goes, which to me it got really frustrating because I didn't want to spend my entire game leveling up my skills. Granted, when you do some of the characters, you're gonna need to max out a lot of these skills. Like one of the characters, I had to have 100% kindness, or maxed out kindness. One is I need to have maxed out charm. Another one I have maxed out proficiency or guts or knowledge. And some of these characters will help you with that, but I feel like there's plenty of time to go through all the characters and level them all up. Like, I'm trying to do that now. because when I got to the end of the game, I had so many confidants, which is what some of your characters you get into kind of like a contract. If you guys are familiar with Black Butler, it's kind of very similar thing. Although I don't think it's like a demon-y thing. It's just how a game is like you enter into contract, you enter into confidants, and these confidants you can level them up, and you actually see them throughout the rest of the game if you max them out. And then each one of them will give you a new persona. And once actually you play, it's in your in-game playable characters will actually level up their persona. So you get a new persona as well. So they start out with, like, let's say Skull starts out with Captain Kidd. He's a very early on character. That's one of the things about my reviews, guys. Is if I'm going to give you a character, I'm giving you a character you run into relatively quick. He gets Captain Kidd. Well, Captain Kidd will turn into something else. I don't know. I never got a chance to finish it. I only got to level 7 with him. But other personas, some of them are just really freaking cool, and some of them are really OP. Weapons, I would say it's more cosmetic, to be honest. I mean, I really like the Gagger Eye guy. It kind of looks really cool. But I feel like there was not enough variety in terms of that. Like, I looked at some of the other characters, like weapons, and I was like, why can't I get something cool like that, you know? Like, one of the characters actually gets freaking lightsaber. I'm like, how come my character doesn't have like a lightsaber? Come on, give me like a knife lightsaber or a dagger. So that's another thing I really got irritated with, is that it didn't seem like there was enough time, because there's some times where the game just won't let me explore or won't let me do anything. I have to sleep for the next day, or there's not enough. It seems like if I choose, I have like 4 people on one day. It says, "What's your plans for today? You want to hang out today?" And I got 4 people. I gotta choose, and then the next day, none of them want to hang out. I gotta wait for them to. But then again, I think there's an opportunity now that I know, is if you hang out with this one person, he reaches out, and you have to say you have 4 messages. Those other 3 messages, next day you can go find them if they're in that location. And you have to figure that out. Like, I would recommend looking at walkthroughs, be honest. Not for a walkthrough, but certain days, certain characters will be in certain locations. Certain characters will be in certain locations at certain times. So you really, I would say, really research that when they're there, so you can hang out with them without having to wait for the message. But all in all, it's very addicting. It's very fun. Like, for me, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you guys know how I am with my reviews. It takes a lot for me to say a game is good or a game is crap. And granted, I'm not buying, like, I don't have the monies to go buy every single game and do a review on every single game out there, sadly. But I do what I can. And I remember watching this from another friend of mine's channel, Derivar. If you look on my thing, go check him out. I don't think he's done a lot of content, but he's still a really cool content creator. Give him a look at. He was the one I actually started finding out some of these games, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this. The only problem is I will not make any videos on game content alone on this, for a couple reasons. One is highly copyright. Highly. I mean, if you don't care about the channel and you don't care, if you don't care about not getting any of the revenue, but I don't want to risk my channel. I don't want to Now, granted, I've seen Persona content, so I'm personally, I don't know. I'm not the big YouTubers. I don't know the ins and outs of YouTube. I just do the best I can. But because of the severity of its copyright, like every time I turn it on, it says block cutscene. That's only because when you get that on your PlayStation, it means that it's copyrighted. And they don't want to do any of that legal term, because mostly it's the anime. It's mostly an anime. There's also, I should say this as well, there's a lot of good humor in it. Like you have a lot of the, stereotypical characters. You have Joker, who's kind of like the stoic show off, the leader. He personifies that. You have Skull. And I'm only going to use their code names. You guys can play the game if you want to know the real name. And then you have Panther, who, she's your typical pretty girl, but she also has a bit of a mean streak to her. Then you have Queen, who is your typical biker, that biker badass. And then you have Fox, who is your very stoic character. Then you have Noir, who is very, very, how can I put it? She's very goofy. I'll put it that way. Then you have Morgana, which she is kind of like the brains of the outfit. Excuse me. Very well written characters. With all of them have their own backstory, their own objectives, their own goals, which brings the characters together. Would I recommend it? Yes. I would honestly give this game a solid 10 out of 10, based on my enjoyment of it, based on graphics, based on gameplay. I ran through the game and I had no problems. I had one, but that was really not so much of the game. It was a network issue, because where I'm staying, there's not a lot of good internet. So it wasn't even a problem with the game itself. There's like one feature I can't even look at because check out, because I don't have good internet. But would I recommend it? Yes. I think I got it used, so I think it was like, I don't know, $40, give or take. And there's rumors that there might be a Persona 6. Now, I've never played any Personas, by the way. I never played Persona 1 or 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now 5. I actually kind of want to go play Royale, to be honest, which is supposed to be like its own standalone game. It's supposed to, from what I understand, is that it's a full game, but they added more to it. But instead of saying, "Oh yeah, it's just a DLC," it's its own game. Like they upped everything. From what I understand, is they upped the graphics, they upped characters, they upped missions. Because I think you did a total of like 7, maybe 8 big missions before you have to before you end the game. Definitely, like, I researched how long it typically takes, and they say it takes about 100 hours. I went well above that. Like, when I did my final boss, I was up to 1 hour and 43 minutes. And it's going up still. So, definitely if you're going and doing all of the side quests, all of the character development skills, all that, and collecting all the personas. There's some personas you have to actually collect, like the gem personas, or I think they're called gem treasure demons or something like that. Anyway, You gotta collect those. So there's a lot you gotta do in the game. You don't necessarily have to do it, but I kind of do it because, you know, I kind of, when I get into a good game, I really engross myself into it. So solid 10 out of 10. I don't even know what I want to call this video. Be honest, I don't know if I just want to say Persona review or Wookiees truck and vlog, because I'm actually in my truck right now. So yeah, if you guys have a chance, have a PS5. I don't know if Persona 5 is available on Xbox, but I think it's also available on Switch. Don't quote me on that though. But if you have a PS5 and you're looking for a game to, you know, engross yourself in, definitely go check out Persona 5. I don't think this is going to be a short video, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything I could do better, anything you guys think that would improve, I can improve on, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Say, hey, Wookie, can you talk about this a little bit more in depth? Or, hey, Wookie, can you try talking a little bit more in depth with the characters? You know, stuff like that. If you have some ideas, please shoot them my way. I love reading you guys' ideas. I hope you guys are all doing well. More than well, I hope you guys are having a Wookie-tastic day. And I'll see you all on our next adventure. Until next time, see ya.